the speaker box loud, hitting that stuff till you hearing that sound.
So the reason I got this drone because my Air 2S, I felt like it's kind of outdated. Finally, they came out with the Air 3 and I actually skipped on the Pro version because one, it's too expensive. Second, it just feels like it's too big for my setup. I travel a lot, so I felt like Air is the best package for me and it fits in my backpack nice and snug. So let's open this up first. And in this video, I will focus more, oh, there's a squirrel. In this video, I will be comparing this drone to Air 2S, and I'm hoping to find out if it's worth it to upgrade. I've got the Pro version with the monitor built into the remote. I think it's kind of cool because you don't have to plug in your phone every time, so that way you have everything already run and gun right away. And also, this version has 3 batteries. They don't have a version with just 1 battery right now, so you have to pay extra for 3 batteries. So let's open this up. I'm just gonna use like a rock. And nice and clean. I will throw this away, I promise. We're not leaving any trash behind. The little peel thingy you have to peel. That was easy, boom. See, you have, oh wow, that is smart. So you just have the case, first impressions. Smells good, doesn't smell like cheap China. But it also has this nice charcoal color I really like. Pretty easy, seems like a magnet, like a little purse, right? So here, nice materials, instructions, USB-C cable, and then, wow, so it is bigger as I was expecting. It is definitely bigger than the Air 2S, but it's not as huge as Mavic 3 Pro. Okay, let's set it down. Let's see what else is in the box. For now, a lot of extra propellers seems like. You have 2 extra sets of propellers. Wow, okay. They're probably expecting people to crash this a lot or something. Wow, the remote is pretty big, but it's thin. It feels slim. And that's the battery charger. Also very thick plastic. Okay. Yeah, this is definitely a bigger package than I was expecting. 1 drone battery is already here. 2 batteries are here. So that is the actual charger, which is pretty cool. I think that's how you open it. Yep. The batteries are longer and slimmer. Probably the same weight. Let's open this up as well. Pretty cool. Have some custom buttons in the back. These things are here now. Instead of being at the bottom, you have micro SD card in here. I guess it writes it to the remote. That's how you charge it. Interesting. What is this? I'm not sure. You can like connect something to here. We'll figure out later. So you have normal, sport, cine, home point, start, on, off. The buttons are way softer for sure. This thing is huge. Ah, okay. And now you have this little thingy here. I really like that the camera is black. That's cool. The previous one wasn't black. And then the battery just slides inside, opposed to like you just push it in. This time you have side sensors as well. I guess that's them. The Air 3 is a bit bigger, but it's not as the Mavic Pro size, like I said. It's actually about the same height, surprisingly, right? Just the camera is a lot bigger. And then from here, it's a bit taller. The camera sticks out. And then from here, it's wider as well. That's actually kind of interesting because this remote does seem bigger since it has a screen, but it's not a lot bigger. It's like 1/4 of the size bigger. No, it's a little bit higher, but it's not as long as iPhone 14, right? But it's pretty big. All right, we also will be using DJI ND filters, and the shots I will be using from Mavic Air 2S also has native ND filters from the drone. So that is the set that we are using right now. It's just a little bit bigger box. Same thing, 8/16, 32/64. We'll probably use 64/32 today because it's super bright right side. Just like Air 2S, take this guy out, put some fingerprints, and put this one in. There it is. Now it's all fancy with NDs. Alright, so after reviewing the footage, it's been already like a week. I've tested out all the modes this drone has, and I was super curious about if this drone will replace my Air 2S and if it's gonna be a lot better. Was it worth it to spend all the extra money and then ditch the Air 2S, or you should just keep the Air 2S and be happy with it? So my main complaints about my old drone were that the low light performance wasn't as good as some other newer drones, but like I said, Mavic Pro series, it's a bit too big for my backpack, so I was super excited for the Air 3 to come out. What I can tell you right off the bat, low light capabilities of this drone are a lot better than Air 2S. The image just looks a lot cleaner. Also, I updated the software the other day, and it has built-in noise reduction feature, which you can slide it from 0 to 1 and -1 and 2. I don't think I'm really a fan of that feature. I'd rather do the noise reduction in post later because it does make the image a bit plasticky if you switch it to 1. So I would keep it in 0, but let's say if you shoot during sunset or even blue hour, the image does look a lot cleaner compared to Air 2S where it was a lot noisier. And my other thing was the second camera was gimmick or not? So for example, you know how the iPhones have 3 cameras and stuff. I hate my camera on the iPhone 13. The 3X camera because it's just not as good. So I was kind of like skeptical about that camera on the Air 3, but turns out it's exactly same quality, exactly same resolution, everything exactly the same other than the sensor size, and the performance of it is great. They did not limit any features and any modes of this camera, which is great. So you can still do D-Log, you can still do HLG, and all the features are available, all frame rates, both exactly the same to both cameras, so you can use them evenly. What I really like and what I was really surprised about that I didn't even expect in Air 3 drone is that the 70mm 3X camera gives you a lot more capabilities. You can create super cool shots that you were not be able to create with the Air 2S or any other wide camera drone before. So you can create parallax effect and you don't have to get close to subjects. For example, if I'm tracking the car, I don't have to fly exactly over the car. I can be far from the car, be safe, keep my distance, but I can get same rolling shots and have it really tight. With ND filters, it looks really cool. It looks like it was an actual camera was filming the car from the distance. Same thing over flying around the person or even filming a lightning, like we were lucky to get some shots, because with a wide camera, you wouldn't be able to get close shots of the sky. But with a 3X camera, I was able to pitch in and then get super cool shots of the lightning, which would not be possible with any other wide camera drone such as Air 2S. Now another thing to mention is the range on this drone is for sure better. I did not test it much, but I noticed it didn't have a lag. With Air 2S, I had an issue sometimes where the image lags. I don't know what was that about. So for example, you would see an image, the latency would be like a second, which is crazy because you can fly into something already, but you've seen like a second and past. But with this drone, I didn't experience that. The image transmission was smooth no matter how far I flew. I think only one time where I flew maybe like 2-3 miles away and behind the mountain, it did kind of cut off, but it didn't really like cut off, but it's starting to get lower quality. So I figured I should return. Another thing that I noticed is this drone is not as loud, which is pretty nice because of the bigger propeller size. It is also faster, especially in descending and ascending, and just regular speeds are faster than the Air 2S, which is nice. And another thing that I also like that with a new controller, there is a SD card slot in the controller where you can download footage in actual flight time, and you can download the actual files from the drone mid-air to your SD card on the controller, which is pretty nice, I think. Now for the things that I don't like, and it's kind of more like a step back, and I'm kind of surprised DJI did that. There is no 5K whatsoever, and this will not come back with the software update, I'm sure, because that's not a software related thing. So you only stuck to 4K, where in Air 2S you had a 5.4K capability, which was kind of nice because you sometimes could crop in, and I liked shooting in 5.4K. Another thing that I did not like, you still cannot change the aperture, but of course ND filters will fix that. But that kind of sucks because you stuck to the aperture of your native lens. But I feel like they are saving this feature to the Pro lineup of the drones where you can adjust the aperture. But on the Air series, you could not change the aperture ever before. But I was kind of hoping that they would do this in this generation of the drones, but no, they did not. Another feature that they do have is vertical mode, and I thought that this would actually flip the camera like on the Mini series, but it does not actually rotate the camera. It just crops in to your 4K image and gives you 2.7K. I think it's kind of gimmick. You can just do that later in software, but it kind of gives you a good frame where you could see what you're filming, but it's not really like a feature. It's more just like a crop in your horizontal footage to make it 2.7K from 4K. Finally, one more thing that I like about this drone, it's a small thing, but still, the SD card reader in the drone is in the back, so you don't have to unfold the arms or anything. You just unfold the little flappy thing in the back of the drone, plug in your USB or SD card, and you're good to go. All right, so should you update to the Air 3? It depends. If you are okay with the footage quality that it gives you during the low light and blue hour and darker times, then I think you should stick with the Air 2S. And also, if you don't care about shooting at night or low light at all, don't worry about it at all. With the wide camera 5.4K image, you still get D-Log, and during the daytime, the image is pretty much the same. You won't tell the difference, especially with iPhones, and if you post on Instagram, I wouldn't care at all. But if you're doing more professional work, this is a big thumbs up for the noise reduction capabilities in low light. During blue hour, during sunset, the Air 3 performs a lot better, as you can see in these shots that I shot compared. And another thing that I do like a lot over Air 3, which I was not even thinking I would get, is the new 3X camera. It's not a gimmick, it's full resolution 4K camera that has exactly the same capabilities as the wide camera, and it does give you completely new perspective. It's almost like shooting on a portrait lens. Let's say if you have an 85 and 24. With the 85, you almost get like a portrait lens in the drone, and it's not just like you would be zooming at people and things, but it's more the way you use it. So if you spin around an object quickly, you'll get this parallax effects, or if you want to reveal something in a cool way, this camera gives you a lot more options and perspectives to showcase your footage in a unique way, which I really like, and I think I will be using it a lot. And also, one more thing worth mentioning, since I'm talking about this camera, is you can set up autofocus and manual focus in the 70mm camera, which kind of sometimes gets tricky because it feels like almost the footage gets out of focus. So you do have to make sure you tap to focus, or you actually can manual focus to make sure everything is in focus, because a couple of times I did get it out of focus and it kind of sucked. Well, that is it for me. Thank you so much for watching. I've been saying this for like 3 times now. I'm trying to get this right. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell and all that good stuff. Thanks again. Peace. See you next time. Bye.